This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, Thursday, July the 2nd, 8 a.m., hour number 2 underway. Going to switch from the AP Top 25 with Josh Pay, talking some SEC teams, go over to the Big Ten, a team that under a lot of normal circumstances is being discussed being in the top 10, maybe the top 5. Not so much this year with a head coaching change. Talk some Michigan with Brad Galli here in just a moment. First, tell you about Gusty Ghouls and the Gusty Ghouls Group. If you're looking to get into a new home in Central Alabama, guys, it's got to be the Gusty Ghouls Group. They served more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. They know the market better than anyone. Just Google Gusty Ghouls Group. You're going to see more than 850 5-star Google reviews, brokered by eXp Realty. Go to GustyGhoulsGroup.com, button at the top right-hand corner of the page. Smash that button. Very little information. They're going to tell you what they think you can get for your home right now. They know what homes are coming available before they hit the market. Go to GustyGhoulsGroup.com, call 205-542-1996 today, and start packing. All right, Brad Galli of the Brad Galli Show joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. You can check out his show on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast, covering all Michigan, Detroit sports, but we're focusing on the Michigan Wolverines today. Brad, I want to start with this. It feels like a lot of times when you have a head coaching change, we hear a lot about culture inside the facility has to change. However, what that culture has been that has made Michigan successful in the majority of the last, let's just say, decade, it fits right in to what Kyle Whittingham is. Philosophically, mentally, emotionally, how much does that benefit maybe how quick of a start he can get off to as the Michigan head coach?
I think with the Sharon Moore, and first of all, thanks for having me on, Cole. Good to talk with you, man. I see why you're the Alabama Sportscaster of the Year, the way you do those reads, man. I want to go buy from them too, man. That's a good partner there. You're doing those reads great. You got the questions flowing. We feel good on a holiday week here. I think with Michigan, man, losing Sharon Moore like that and the way that kind of things went up in flames, you panic if you're a Michigan football fan, but to find Kyle Whittingham in the situation that they did, I think you're right. He slides in as almost a best-case scenario in any sort of calendar flip, but the fact that they got him at the time that they did when he left Utah, and it was a weird situation the way he left Utah, but he's come in, and it's my understanding, guys, that he came in and said, this is not how we do our weight room, and they had just invested millions into this weight room, and the staff at Michigan said, how do you want to do it, Kyle Whittingham? And he and his staff said, this is how we want it. They adjusted it. There's a lot of changes that have happened there already under Kyle Whittingham. He's had the success that they've been able to say, let's step back and understand that this is a new coach. And I think, guys, that's the biggest thing that they've needed to do here for a while. Jim Harbaugh had his success. I think Sharon Moore wanted to continue that, but you have to be your own man if you're going to take over a program. You guys see it in the teams that you're so close to there. You have to step out and be sort of an alpha. And I think Kyle Whittingham's come in and done that. The whole Michigan man thing, I think, is overblown. I think you have to have an individual in there to be a head coach and a leader of men. And it seems in the first few months that Kyle Whittingham's that guy.
How broken was the facility, the locker room, so to speak, the culture there? I mean, understanding it was an ugly departure for Sharon Moore, but it seemed like it was such a nice handoff, literally and figuratively, from Jim Harbaugh to him, being the offensive line coach, being sort of what they were physically, how they won games. Just felt like it was going to work. But was the interior of that thing crumbled to the point that a lot of people on the outside looking in sort of believed that it was?
The cracks really started to show in the middle part of the season. There was a story in one of the papers that the assistant coaches and Sharon, everyone had a come to Jesus meeting in the middle of the season, that there was fighting. And I've done the weekly show with the Michigan coach since Jim got there, and then for the 2 years with Sharon. And I point blank asked him, I said, listen, animosity happens in sports. We're not idiots. But when coaches start yelling and word gets out, how do you handle that? And he said, when there are voices in a room and there's dissent, that's a good thing. But what we quickly realized was that dissent was more than just that. There was questioning. There was a wonder of responsibility of what was happening at the top. There was a mishandling of the quarterback. There was no quarterback coach for Bryce Underwood, who was the number one recruit coming out, the biggest recruit Michigan's ever gotten at the quarterback position, and he had no quarterback coach in his freshman year. There was a lot that was underneath that program and underneath Sharon that was crumbling, it became very apparent, and it got louder as they approached the Ohio State game. And when they lost that game, guys, it was very loud from a lot of the boosters from the board that the direction they wanted to go in was different than Sharon, and then everything unfolded the way it did.
Brad Galli of the Brad Galli Show. You can find him on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter at Brad Galli, Galli, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Let's stick with Bryce Underwood, because I think a lot of people, you see a true freshman do some of the things he did last year in live action, you say, kid's got a bright future. We can build on that. There's obviously going to be big steps to be taken when you're that age and you step into that league to start. But then we get some of the negativity coming out of spring ball with kids' dads saying different things about how he looked, and a short window in which you got to see him. I don't know what to make of a lot of it. What are the most realistic things you're hearing about this young man right now as the Michigan quarterback?
I would love to give you a line that turns into a nice infographic you pop out on Instagram. Brad Galli in Michigan says this about Bryce Underwood, and here's the undivided truth, and there's no doubt about it. But I think the truth of it is, there is so much unknown, and it is that time of year where speculation is king. I watched this kid in high school, and he dazzled. And, you watch kids in high school, and you can say he's the next big thing, and we all did say that. We watch him in spring ball his freshman year, and he looks pretty good, and he moves like he's a veteran, and he's in the offense, and he takes command, and he's got the frame, he's got the build. But then you watch some of the simple throws and some of the simple reads that he couldn't make last year, and you question it. And then the next play, he's scrambling for 30, and you go, well, maybe they should run him more. They were conservative last year in not running him a lot. They didn't want to burn his legs in a year where they felt like they weren't going to get into the Big Ten or the national championship. Now, you may question that as a strategy because the Big Ten was a little bit up for grabs outside of what we saw Indiana ultimately do. Like, you could have gotten in and kind of could have done something in the playoff had you just won maybe one or two more games. But I think with him, I think the biggest thing is hitting those simple throws. He throws the ball so hard, and knowing when to use that changeup, knowing to not to kind of back off that fastball was a big issue for him last year. So it's ride or die with Bryce Underwood. They're going to live or die with him for this year, and you would think next. But in this world of NIL and transfers, who knows? It's make or break, man. If he has a big year, and we're talking in a few months about how good Bryce Underwood looks, it's probably with Michigan in the top 25, maybe back in the top 10.
And that's the thing. So many of these quarterbacks, Brad, they can't ever find that. They can't ever find that changeup, that ball velocity, ball tempo. It just, certain kids just, they want to fire it in there, and they don't understand when you want to hit that check down, take some off. You just got to float it over there. And if he finds it, I'm with you. I think he could have a big year. Here's another reason I think he can have a big year. I think this wide receiver core has a chance to be much better than people are giving it credit for. It's a younger group that returns a lot of guys that played. You get a couple transfers in that can help. The offensive line should be solidified. Andrew Marsh can flat go. And then defensively, you got Cameron Brandt back on the edge. I love Zeke Berry at corner, a kid that just he plays like he's not like a normal DB. I think you have pieces around him that could help this be a really good football team. And they're not getting probably the credit that they deserve. A lot of that emphasis is on Bryce Underwood. We know it's quarterback. We get it. But what else is in place that leads you to believe that Michigan could surprise some folks this year and maybe contend for a Big Ten title, a spot in the playoff?
Marsh was the guy. I was getting long-winded on my last answer, but Marsh was the guy I was going to bring up. When Bryce looked great last year, it was when he was going to Marsh. And I don't think that was just Bryce. Marsh is a special talent. The Northwestern game when they're playing at Wrigley last year, he had some diving catches, some late sideline toe tappers. The connection the two of them have, I think, is something that Michigan fans would hope that, man, this would remind them of those old quarterback wide receiver duos in the past, and maybe Marsh can be that next guy for Michigan at wide receiver. I think the tight end position is always something to watch with Michigan, but I think Marsh is an all Big Ten player with the potential to be an All-American. Now, we have not seen a Michigan wide receiver take off and be that guy. I mean, in 2 decades, really. I mean, I think of David Terrell back who went to the Bears in the first round. Braylon Edwards right there, obviously. But it's been a while. I mean, that was a calling card for Michigan for quite some time. But if you want to help out your quarterback in 2026 in this era of airing it out, you got to have a guy like that. And I think, again, he's a guy to watch that could be a national name that's popping when you're watching games early in the season. And let's check in on Michigan. And Marsh, how many touchdowns? He's got 4 touchdowns. He's a guy and a name to watch.
Had to bring up David Terrell. He and A-Train burned us in the Citrus Bowl, my final college football game. Thanks for bringing that one up. We really appreciate that here on the show today.
Sorry.
That's okay. I want to ask you a little bit more of a bigger Big Ten question. because yesterday we took a couple conferences and just kind of went through, do we think more teams are going to be better, more teams going to go backwards? I think there's a real chance for more teams to advance this year in the Big Ten from what they were last year than there are more teams to go maybe backwards. Like, it's going to be harder for Ohio State to be better, Oregon to be better, but I think they can be maybe where they were, close to where they were. Indiana obviously is not going to go undefeated again, but they're going to be really good. Do you see the conference maybe taking an extra step and some of the middle or bottom of the Big Ten could sort of be better than people are projecting?
Yeah, I think USC might figure it out a little bit better than they have the last few years and figure out how to finish a season. I think locally, Michigan State with Pat Fitzgerald, I guarantee you they won't be worse than what they have with Jonathan Smith. I talk a lot about Michigan when we're talking football around here because they've been the better program for a while. But I think Pat Fitzgerald was a perfect hire at Michigan State. Literally, like when he played against Michigan State, he had the big neck roll. I mean, he was that guy. And for him to come in and try to preach that, but also understand he's been out of football for a while. He's been building what he said is a machine to understand the NIL, understand the transfer portal as well as anybody can, and come in and attack it there. If he can get those guys that Mark D'Antonio got, I think we're watching, a two-headed monster in our state here in Michigan and seeing Michigan State competing again. I think to your point, yeah, I think more teams take a step in the Big Ten. It was really top-heavy last year, and I think that's an anomaly in this NIL era. And I think administrations know how to throw money now at the program and see it work. Indiana gave that example, and so I think some of those middle-tier programs will take that step, building a weaker non-conference schedule, and you'll start to look at a more balanced Big Ten this year.
Brad Galli joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. So let me ask you this. You know more so than us. Is Michigan State suited to do that? Do they have the backing? Is that not just administrative wanting to do it? Do they have people ready to step up? Can they be a player in that game? Today's NIL, where we are in college sports?
Yeah, Mel Tucker was a misfire, but Matt Ishbia, who owns UWM, the big mortgage company here in Michigan, is the owner of the Phoenix Suns, is a big-time player, was a walk-on for Tom Izzo. He threw a bunch of money to prevent Mel Tucker, as we know, from leaving Michigan State to go to LSU. That blew up in their face. They're being very cautious. I think he's been a little bit more cautious of being out loud about the money he's throwing. But I think a good season out of Pat Fitzgerald, he starts backing them more. But the way Michigan State's always done it and the way Tom Izzo does it on the basketball side of things is with come play for us in East Lansing. Yes, we're known literally for farming. There are farms around Michigan State, but come earn it. And for people that think in this area you can't do that, I think Michigan State has been the outlier in hoops for quite a while. They did it with Mark D'Antonio just as the CFP was beginning. I think they could do it again. You get enough prizes in there and you start building around it. You can get people in there like they did in Indiana. But I think before Matt Ishbia and some of these big Michigan State people want to start throwing their money again, show me a little proof, Pat Fitzgerald. I think they're capable of it, but I think Ishbia and those guys would want to see a little proof.
Do you have one in the Big Ten that you think maybe more so than others could separate outside USC? I think a lot of us look at Jaden Mayava and say, all right, they got talent. They have skill on the perimeter. They could be that team. But is there one that maybe you feel like deserves a little more conversation that could make that leap? Maybe it's Michigan State. Like I love Minnesota this year. I think you got a solid quarterback, throws a nice deep ball, big targets, wide receiver, good group of tight ends. Defensively, maybe not great, but I think they could surprise some folks. I mean, UCLA's got a big-time quarterback now. I don't know if they have enough pieces, but, you put some new things around him. Washington's got a playmaker at quarterback. They could maybe extend a little bit. Like, who's that surprise team for you in this league?
Can I be really lame and go to the top and just think that I think Oregon becomes a wrecking ball this year, like an absolute wrecking ball?
No, it's not lame at all. We were just talking about it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. They were on that path last year, and I think with what Dan Lanning's built up there, man, he wants it to be a machine. They've shown the capabilities of being a machine, and some of those falters last year, I think when coaches go through that, it looks like it's automatic on the outside, but those are the kind of bruises that turn into battle scars and battle wounds that you learn from. And I think the way he's insulated and built some talent around there and picked up some key transfers, man, I think they become a machine, and that's the team to look for this year in all of college football.
Brad, great stuff, man. Hope the family trip is going well. We appreciate the time. Let's do it again soon.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, also, checking out your YouTube page. Get your guys to ship us some Cosmic Chrome football down here if we can make that happen.
You like that? You open up some cards. Let's do it, man. Next time we're at the same sideline, we'll crack a box together, and you can keep the SEC guys. I'll keep the Big Ten guys. You like that?
I just need the offensive lineman. It will be good. So there you go.
No David Terrell cards, though.
No, you can have those. Don't need those. All right. Take care, Brad. Good stuff.
See you, man.
All right, Brad Galli joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline at Brad Galli, Galli. Go subscribe to his YouTube page. He does a lot, too. He's got Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions. He covers Pistons. He's covering a little bit of World Cup, but also Michigan Wolverines, Michigan State. So dialed into college football as well. And just, are we making enough, John, of the home run hire that it was to be able to get Kyle Whittingham at this point? To fire your coach that way, to have it go as poorly as it did. You think about usually this is some random interim to just get us through 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, and you stumble upon Kyle Whittingham, a guy whose mentality and behavior is already exactly what your program has been built on for the last decade. And even though, like Brad said, he comes in, changes a lot of things, does things a different way, you had to get some of the stench off the program that was there,
right,
and do it a little bit more so your way. But this is a proven winner. Like a legitimate proven winner. And you're able to bring him in with a ton of talent at quarterback, talent at receiver, talent at DB, talent up front. I'm very interested to see what he can do with it this year. I don't know what to feel about it, but I feel like we may be undervaluing just what he is as a head coach and how Michigan was able to get him when they did.
The two things we're probably talking about the least that we should be talking about a whole bunch more, the fact that Kyle Whittingham got to Michigan and Georgia. Like two things that just if you just look at it at any other point in time, it's like, oh yeah, Georgia's probably a top 5 team. You can make a good argument that they're number 1. And Kyle Whittingham not only gets to go to Michigan, but after Michigan had such controversy and issues to what's going on in their head coaching position, to all of a sudden just bag a guy like that. Like that's almost unfathomable. Like I harbor no ill will towards Michigan, but that doesn't seem right or fair.
No, it's wild to think about. All right, we'll talk more about that. We have week 1 lines in college football we didn't get to yesterday. We have some recruiting news that we need to update as well. I will ask the guys here. We'll play a game before we head into the weekend a little bit later in the show. Do you know your conferences? Things have changed in the last 48 hours. We'll do that a little bit later in the show. All that and more next right here on Mac and Cube in the morning.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, 3-man front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.
All right, 10 minutes from now, we will talk a new team heading into the FBS. North Dakota State. We talk about Michigan's expectations this year and that we don't really know what to expect, what to anticipate. What do we expect from North Dakota State this year? What does their NIL look like? What does the portal look like this year versus the last few years? We don't know. Sam Neidermann will join us to discuss it. He covers North Dakota State there in Fargo, and they're going to be able to go to a bowl game this year. So we've had that rule wiped out. They'll be eligible for a bowl if they can get there. We'll look at the schedule, just get Sam's thoughts on the Bison. They're going to be a real player with their schedule this upcoming season, which brings me to some conference news and notes, John. You kind of brought this up a little early in the week.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are. We can maybe play this like a little bit off and on throughout the rest of the day. Do you know your conferences? You can come up with some fancy music for this if you want. I don't know if we have like Jeopardy, if we have like game show. Damien is our resident game show expert as the only game show winner in the building.
Let's go.
I imagine. Has anybody else been on a game show and won in this building?
Actually, yeah.
What game show?
What's that woman,
The
Nate
Great
Bargatze?
Average.
Great Average American.
Don't give me one that was like at Fox 6 on Monday mornings or something.
It was on ABC.
Big ABC.
Yeah,
Okay.
like 8 o'clock. He won like double what Damien did.
He did.
Not Double Dare.
No, double the money.
True story.
Okay. I wasn't trying to put Damien down today, but apparently John feels like you need to be put in your place.
Listen, man.
He's going to attempt to do that.
I don't pocket watch.
I give you team. You tell me what conference they're in.
Oh, let's go.
UTEP. Proximity mines. by the way.
They're in the
Obviously.
they're in the Pac-12 now.
They are. They are not.
UTEP is now in the Mountain West.
UTEP is in the Mountain West.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
Louisiana Tech.
Sun Belt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is an interesting one. Texas State.
They are in the Pac-12.
They are in the
Yes,
Pac-12.
Yeah.
All right, since we're about to talk about them,
Mm-hmm.
North Dakota State, asterisk, football only.
Mountain West.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Northern Illinois, asterisk, football only.
Wait a minute. They're still in the MAC, right?
Not in football, they're not.
No, they moved.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, man. Welcome to today's college athletics.
They're the Mountain West.
They are.
Man.
Sacramento State.
They are in the MAC.
They
Yeah.
are in the MAC.
Yeah.
That's.
I do remember
They
that one.
are.
Yeah.
Gonzaga.
Pac-12.
Don't even think they have football, so.
Okay. Yeah. I was waiting for the asterisk. Yeah, that's Pac-12.
Pac-12.
I mean,
it
I guess it
confused
is
me.
an asterisk, but yeah, also a non-applicable asterisk. That's hard to say because they don't have football.
Because
But yes,
when I saw the social media post, I was like, Sanford's doing the. Oh wait, that's Gonzaga.
they are in the Pac-12, and I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with the conference basketball tournament.
Yeah, that
now that
that double bye
Gonzaga has
invitational.
had the quintuplet bye
yeah,
to be able to get into the semifinals immediately for the last decade plus. San Diego State,
Pac-12.
Pac-12.
Boise State,
Pac-12.
Yeah.
UC Davis, asterisk, non-football only.
I'm keep up with the trend. Pac-12.
Whack.
Mountain West,
Ugh, almost said that.
which you could cue now. How do I say goodbye? The WAC is no more.
Okay, that's okay.
The WAC is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We killed that conference off, and I don't
We?
see them making a return
I
like
don't
the
fulfill
Pac-12
we.
has.
I didn't do
Yeah,
this.
right. I had nothing to do with this.
Utah State.
Utah
Pac-12.
State is in the Mountain West.
No, Utah State is in the Pac-12.
Yeah,
John
they
is
jumped-
correct.
they jumped
Wow.
up.
Colorado State.
Pac-12.
I think that
Because they have been in the Mountain
They
West.
are
Yeah.
in the new Pac-12. It's
Which
a
has
whole
8
new
teams.
look. Pac-12.
Yep.
Which has
Yes.
8 teams.
Can you give
8.5.
me the 2 Pac-12 teams we have not named?
Oregon State and Washington State.
Yeah.
The ones that
The original members, baby.
Well,
they defended the
the
Alabama.
new
The OGs.
of the new teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe there are 2 that have not been mentioned yet in this segment. We mentioned Colorado State, San Diego State, Texas State, Utah State, Gonzaga. There are 2 others that are new to the Pac-12, no asterisks involved, that we have not mentioned. One, I would reference them as a traditional power at their level. 2, one of our favorite teams on this show that we love to discuss.
Fresno State.
Correct?
And powerhouse in their respective conference. Well, their former conference.
At their level of football, yeah. For
at
sure.
that level. Okay. North Dakota State.
No,
No.
they're in the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Asterisk, football only.
Football only. Montana.
Not moving up.
South Dakota State?
Not moving up.
Okay.
Boise.
Oh, man.
Oh, I thought we did know. Okay.
My apologies, boys.
I thought you asked Boise. Okay.
All right, so your new Pac-12 teams, Boise, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Texas State, Utah State, Gonzaga. Your new Mountain West teams, UTEP, North Dakota State, asterisk football. Northern Illinois, asterisk football. UC Davis, asterisk non-football. Conference USA doesn't add teams, but they lose La Tech and UTEP. La Tech now in the Sun Belt, and Sacramento State goes to the MAC.
Whew.
That is your conference realignment update for the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
July 1st, I think, is
Yeah,
when
it was official.
most of this went into place, and the WAC was officially announced as no more.
Hate to see them go.
Thank you, Western Athletic Conference, for all that you have given us over the last 57 and a half years.
You will not be forgotten.
You will.
Well, at least by
Yeah,
us.
you will.
You will be forgotten.
You won't be mentioned. You won't be forgotten. You just won't be mentioned.
Correct.
Yeah.
Best WAC player ever.
Steve Nash?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Were they in the WAC then?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were.
they were. Yeah.
They were.
Okay.
Jared Zambransky. Hey, Boise State over Oklahoma.
I'm not sure he was the
Yes.
best player on his own team.
But no, it's LT. It's got to be. It's got to be right.
Keith Van Horn.
Ooh. Okay.
Utah, right?
Yeah, he was legit in college.
Him and Andre Miller.
Yeah, they were both on that team. They were good. Two-time consensus All-American, number 2 overall pick in the 97 draft.
Boy, Utah, they've gotten a real
Utah's
glow.
had
I didn't
some
realize
dudes
they were
now.
in the WAC.
All-time leading scorer in conference history, 2,542 points.
Okay.
Just saying.
He was a baller.
But if we were to just go football, I don't know if we're getting better than
Right, LaDainian Tomlinson.
LaDainian. Okay, well, you could go. You're going to go. I have one that I can push you with for sure. Now, we have a couple of those BYU quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, true.
Like Ty Detmer would be there. I think Steve Young would fall into that category.
Fair.
But I'm going to give you one that might be an absolute push. Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
you're
can't.
right.
That is a
Both
literal.
Hall of
That's a
Famers.
literal coin flip.
Yeah, both Hall of Famers, both toted that thing.
I mean, they're about the same guy. I
Right.
mean, it's like it's a literal coin flip. Like if you said right now, starting their NFL careers or college, either one, and you get Marshall Faulk or LaDainian Tomlinson, I can't.
Right, you're not wrong on either
Honestly,
one.
we're good. Just you make the decision, and we're going to be fine. Because we're going to throw it to him 12 times a game. We're going to hand it to him 26 times a game, and we're probably going to win.
Yep.
That's it. So
Hey.
I do think Marshall was like a LaDainian, a smidge, and I mean like smidge more shifty. Marshall like a smidge more power. That's how I kind of view him. Not like massive differential
right.
either way.
That's tough.
But you know what? We're going to win a lot of games with either guy. We are.
Oh, no, I have to settle for Marshall Faulk. Okay.
LaDainian Thomas once set the NCAA single game rushing record with 406 against UTEP in 1999. Honest to God, what's the closest we ever get to that again, rushing in a game?
No, these guys, they're not usually running that hard
Right,
anymore.
yeah.
They'll stop. Load management is what they call
Exactly.
it now.
They're not going to get the carries to even get there.
Ahmad Hardy will. Jaden Ball will. They'll get the carries.
I mean, I don't think
But
Ahmad Hardy's hit 300.
No.
So
He ran for what, two something against Mississippi
he's
State.
had some twos.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't get. Yeah, we're done with those days.
We're not getting a 400-yard rusher again.
No.
Maybe from Navy.
And they got to be
Like
rolling.
Air
that day.
Force might.
They
I
gotta
mean,
be
Air Force put
rolling.
up 600 on the ground as a team. But even they'll pull guys out and start putting the next guys in.
Right.
Multiple backs to give it to. All right. North Dakota State is in the Mountain West. Asterisk, football only. What will it look like this year? We will talk to Sam Neidermann next to give us his outlook on North Dakota State moving up next on Jocks.
The capital of the sports talk nation. This is Jocks 94.5 and JocksFM.com. Birmingham.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning talking college football. We mentioned our conference realignment, got you caught up on where teams are. One of those new teams, North Dakota State. Sam Neidermann, voice of the North Dakota State Bison, joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. Sam, update us on what the expectation is, because we've watched this team from afar. I've been there at Fargo to call a couple of games. I mean, we love the way the program has been run and managed. We've loved what it is at its core, but this is a pretty big step. Is it going to be able to be the same as far as the mentality and the direction and how it operates by taking this step, in your opinion?
Well, Cole, great to be on with you. It's a pleasure. This is an exciting time here in Fargo. The mentality, the standard, it hasn't changed. And I think everything that you spoke to about the Bison football program, it's still there. Yes, there's definitely the awareness of, wow, new challenge going into the FBS or the Mountain West. It's going to be different from what you're accustomed to in FCS, where every single week, I think NDSU is anticipating a 4-quarter game. I think they're anticipating pretty consistent competition in league across the board, whereas in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, the top conference in the FCS, you have your top contenders that you go up against, but there were a couple of games where you knew NDSU would be in a good spot to handle it, and the game would be in hand once you got into the third quarter, into the fourth. The mentality is still to go and compete and win a Mountain West championship. Absolutely. There's a ton of buzz around this team to potentially be one of the G6 CFP contenders here for this season, even in the first year. You just had North Dakota State get postseason eligible here in year one instead of having to do the 2-year probationary wait period that an FCS to FBS transitioning team had to do. The NCAA eliminated that rule, kind of an antiquated rule. I thought the Bison were more than justified to be ready to go from the jump. The mentality is still there. The question is can you get everything up to speed? Financially, you've got a whole big entry fee that's been funded, and NDSU is ready to pony up and play ball. You've got to compensate your staff accordingly. Obviously, we know the expectations around NIL and retention. I think NDSU's already done a great job of that. Coming from the FCS, where you're targeted by some of these bigger programs who want your top talent. And absolutely, the Bison feel like they've prepared for this, not only in the FCS dynasty, where they won 10 national championships in 15 seasons, but also in its storied Division II days, where you've got a total of 18 national championships going all the way back to the 1960s. You've got almost 40 conference championships to this program's name at this point. It's a football factory, as we like to say, Cole. All the NFL talent that's been developed. There's no question NDSU feels confident it can go into the Mountain West, which is a new-look league with some exciting teams from last year that I think showed potential. I think a lot of buzz around kind of the parity that could be within this league with some of the other teams that emerged, like New Mexico, obviously UNLV with Dan Mullen. But the Bison feel like they fit right into that. The question is going to be do you have the consistency week in and week out to win a league and then to potentially go and be in the hunt for that CFP berth as a G6 team?
Visiting with Sam Neidermann, voice of the North Dakota State Bison. Give us a little bit of an outlook on what the support is. We hear about the NIL era, revenue generating, how these teams are surviving, thriving. What does that look like right now for North Dakota State? We have nothing really to compare it to because we don't know, but best that you can compare it to teams in their conference or at their level. What does it look like right now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think NDSU's done a pretty good job as far as retention goes here over the last couple of years in this portal era where it's been new, right? It's been new for everybody. And, the group of 6 level at the FBS up to the power level. Well, the FCS level, you get power teams, G6 teams that were trying to target their players. There's a lot of support, and NDSU was able to rally and retain some key guys. The whole entire entry fee for the Bison moving up to the next level is privately funded. You had a great donor fan base and support that was able to rise up and deliver for NDSU to get in at the right time. It's been the perfect time to jump up and make this move, something that the fan base has been looking for over half a decade now since NDSU's dominance at the FCS level. You were able to retain some pretty cool guys that have gone on and done big things at the next level on Sundays. That goes back to Gray Zabel 3 years ago, came back after some big offers to be a premier left tackle at the power level, instead decided to come back to NDSU for his senior year, wins a national championship, becomes a first-round draft selection, and then wins a Super Bowl his rookie year with the Seattle Seahawks. The next season, Bryce Lance, younger brother of Trey Lance, the number 3 overall pick back in 2021. He decides to stay after a terrific breakout junior season, comes back for one more year as a senior. He gets drafted in the 4th round by the Saints this past spring. Cole Payton, unbelievable athletic quarterback. He goes in the 5th round this last draft after deciding to stay when he could have had options to go elsewhere as well. The Bison were able to keep a couple of their best defensive players this year, Donovan Woolen, Keenan Wilson, who definitely would have had interest. They've done a great job, Cole, of getting guys back in, and it's because they've had committed support, a plan with NIL, I think a really good plan that Tim Polasek, the head coach, has been committed to from the beginning. It's an earn-it-based plan, experience-based plan as far as the compensation, and then to be able to retain some of your key guys in this world where it's been a very difficult thing to do. I think the Bison have the support. To your question about where does this stack up in the Mountain West, well, you got to keep on going. I think it's somewhere in the middle. Obviously, we know a team like UNLV and that program, some of the resources they have. I think there's no question there's the enthusiasm from a fan base or a donor standpoint for NDSU. The question is, can you grow it, and can you continue to get it accustomed to what the group of six level of college football demands?
Sam Neidermann is the voice of the North Dakota State Bison. He joins us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. What has the portal looked like the last few years for North Dakota State, and how has that been different maybe this last portal cycle, knowing where North Dakota State is going next?
Absolutely. Yeah, NDSU's been able to bring in a good amount of talent as on a need basis, right? The Bison have always been a developmental program, and that's still been the MO moving up to FBS. But they were able to bring in a few guys with the attraction and the recruiting piece that, hey, we're FBS now. We're competing in the Mountain West now. And, oh, by the way, we get to do it in year one. You're going to be jockeying for a college football playoff berth. So Chance Tucker, former Notre Dame corner, played a lot on special teams. He was added in this year's spring cycle. A couple other guys at the receiver position from Arizona and Jacksonville State, respectively, to shore up some depth in that room. The retentions that I mentioned earlier, yes, it's been tough. You've had some guys that have moved on. A couple of starting offensive linemen went to Michigan State and Vanderbilt, respectively. Middle linebacker went to Michigan. So that's not to say there hasn't been, losses here in these last couple of years. But now you have an even bigger piece to retain guys now that you're at that level and in the mix with the competition that would have been knocking on the door. And then you can also bring in guys that you need to shore up some depth, to continue addressing maybe areas of need that you would like to supplement with some guys who already have some snaps under their belt. I think we've seen NDSU kind of do the best of both worlds while still sticking to the developmental piece. That's the coolest thing, Cole, about this program is you see guys who have just come from maybe even walk-on status and have become captains, all-conference guys. We know about the NFL draft piece. The developmental model is still very much at the core for the Bison, and that's not changing anytime soon.
We're visiting with Sam Neidermann. He calls North Dakota State football games as they will make their jump to Division I. They'll be in the Mountain West next year, asterisk football only. Was it debated heavily for other sports to go? What was the advantage, disadvantage of just football?
Yeah, football only was perfect for this time. Definitely, I think, a desire in the future from the fan base and everybody else around the region here for NDSU to potentially go in all sports. That would probably be a question for 5 years down the road. I think we're kind of coming up on the 2032 season as the new benchmark when media rights and stuff reset. That's the current benchmark for the Mountain West media deal that NDSU is a part of. But football only was perfect. The rest of the athletic department in the Summit League, which includes the other Dakotas, South Dakota State, University of North Dakota, South Dakota. You've got teams like Kansas City, Omaha in there as well. Oral Roberts down in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's been a good league for the Bison in basketball, baseball, all those other sports. And they've won plenty of championships in them too, particularly on the men's basketball side as well. But at this point, I would say football only was perfect because you get to keep those regional rivalries in your basketballs, in your softballs, baseballs, and then football, you get to go up to that next level of competition that everybody's been yearning for here basically since 2015, I would say, when NDSU won its fifth straight FCS championship. And you could even say in 2016 after NDSU beat Iowa on the road, the 13th ranked team in the country. And that's when you kind of got the AP top 25 votes for the Bison. Could they compete in the Big Ten West? All these fun things that kind of came up in the middle of the decade. And now 10 years later, here they go. They're actually going to have a chance to prove it in the Mountain West.
Sam, do you think the fan base understands and would accept, hey, there's going to be some transition headaches? Like, this is not going to be as dominant as it has been. Or is the expectation just, hey, man, this is the kind of ball we're used to, and we think it should look the same?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's definitely an outlook of, hey, there could be a couple more losses than we're accustomed to, but there would not be much surprise if NDSU ran the table as well. I think when you look at this team, too, like it comes down to the actual roster that you have. You got a new quarterback this year, Nathan Hayes. He was just at the Manning Passing Academy. Really excited to hear that it went well for Nate Hayes down there. He's got a huge arm. It's going to be his first year starting. He's been the backup the last 2 seasons. You got a couple of new guys who will start on the offensive line up front to block for him. I think you bring back a lot on defense. So there's a little give and take with both. Is it 12-0? Is it 8-4? Who knows, right? I think it depends a lot on kind of what other teams in the Mountain West bring back. Just in this new age, we've got a glimpse of it. We've got a glimpse of, the portal giveth and the portal taketh. There's some teams that I think were able to retain some key guys from last year. I think Jackson Eck, who was the defensive player of the year at New Mexico, he's back for a Lobos team that won 9 games a year ago. They've created a lot of buzz. Obviously, talked about UNLV. Their offense is pretty high flying. And with Jackson Arnold coming in, Coach Mullen, they expect to put up some points. It's just a matter of where does that fit in for NDSU? I think there's been a lot of dialogue of, the speed and the skill in the Mountain West probably be a level up from what the Bison are accustomed to. I would also say it's the reverse too, Cole. I think the trench play and the line play for NDSU might be a little different than what some of the Mountain West is used to. And can NDSU shorten up the game a little bit, run it, control the clock, play to its strength on defense as well? It all kind of comes down to that. I think you could see, the ceiling of a 12-0 regular season, and you're right in the mix. That would not be surprising at all. Maybe you do have some growing pains here in this first year, absolutely. Just given that, yes, there has been some turnover from last year. It is a new level of competition where you're going to be on the road against a Mountain West G6 competition far more than just the one. You had one game kind of against FBS competition. The previous iterations as an FCS program 2 years ago opened up against Dion in Colorado. A couple years before that, got to go down and took on Arizona. That was one game that you can kind of funnel in everything to open up the season with. Now you're doing it week in and week out. So I'd say it's a blend of expectations, Cole. It could be that ceiling. I don't think anybody would be shocked given where the Bison have been, but also recognizing, yes, it is a step up. Are there a few more losses on the ledger? Could definitely be a possibility.
I'll tell you, though, that development you referenced earlier and the continuity, specifically at the line of scrimmage, mainly on offense, if that can go a little bit further, then all of a sudden I think you could be looking at that's a huge advantage. Not just the overall physicality, not overwhelming people, but, Sam, we see so many teams now in college football, their O-line just gets them beat. And the line of scrimmage gets them beat because they can't manage all the things that defenses are throwing at them because they hadn't played football together. And if you can throw a bunch of guys out there that just understand, hey, this is how we pass this off, this is how we manage this look, and just not get overwhelmed, it's a big advantage in today's college football. And it feels like this program could at least bring that week in and week out. And that could be huge. So we'll see. I'm excited for it, man. I can't wait to see how it looks week in, week out. If they can manage it, if they can take advantage of it, it's going to be fun. I know it's going to be fun for you guys. We appreciate you hopping on with us today.
Yeah, Cole. No, it's going to be awesome, man. Everybody's pumped up here in Bison Country. I think it's going to be a real special first season. NDSU's deserve to be at this level for a little bit now, and the fact they're going to have the chance is cool. So Awesome to come on and talk ball with you, man. We'll do it anytime. Really excited for the season.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Sam Neidermann joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. He covers the North Dakota State Bison, play-by-play for their games, voice of the Bison. Follow him on Twitter at Sam Neidermann. And it's a cool transition they're going to make. We'll see how it works out. We'll see how it goes. But going to be fun to watch in a new conference there in the Mountain West. Keep talking college football. Got some recruiting news for you coming up next right here on Jocks.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, three-man front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.
Man, we were just talking about running the football.
Right.
More college football just tweeted out a little bit ago. And I remember Tony Sands at Kansas. He was legit. A little bit of an undersized running back, but he could get it. 58 days until college football. Kansas running back Tony Sands against Missouri in 1991.
Oh, man. Okay.
58 carries for 396 yards. Still an NCAA single game record. 58?
They don't make them like that no more. Some of these running backs will be mad they have 58 carries all season.
I want to know the most rush attempts in a game last year in college football. I mean, I don't the attempts in a game just via season, 2025 college football rushing stats. Is it going to be Kewan Lacey of Ole Miss? 300 rush attempts, Cam Cook 295. Okay, but I need in a game for last season. And that's what I don't know how to go find. Your rushing attempts leaders last season. Kewan Lacey 306 was number one. Cale Helms, Army 305. Cam Cook, Jacksonville State 295. Ahmad Hardy 256. Lucky Sutton, San Diego State 254. Emmett Johnson, Nebraska, 251. Anthony Hankerson, Oregon State, 247. They don't make them like that anymore.
So Ahmad Hardy averaged about 20 a game, 20 rush attempts.
Crazy to think about.
Woo.
All right, we'll keep talking college football. The Coach Wim Sanderson going to join us next. I don't understand why I can't find rush attempts in a game from last season. Feels like that should be easy to find, but it isn't. We'll try to find it during the break. Give it to you next as we visit with Wimp Sanderson right after this on Jocks.
This is McElroy and Cubelic in the morning.